This video is about Ahrefs versus Majestic SEO tools. I've been using both of them very regularly for many years now, probably as long as, I don't know, 5 to 7 years each. They're pretty different tools. I'm going to show you what I use each one for and what are the positives and negatives and which ones I think are best under what circumstances. So let's take a look at, if I search Dallas Personal Injury Lawyer, let's find these guys. And so what would I do to look at these and what would be sort of the positives and negatives of using each tool? So let's put this into the Ahrefs Site Explorer. It used to be their site was just about the Site Explorer. Now they have a bunch of other things on here. I don't really use it very much for those. I don't really trust their rank tracker. I never trust automated site audits, and you know, these other things I'm not real keen on. It's really about the links. And one of the biggest differences between Ahrefs versus all the other link building, link tracking tools is that they have the fastest crawler. And what does that mean? That means that they tend to find more links and they tend to find them faster, which allows them to have this really useful graph right here. We can see sort of like so this is the amount of referring domains. Right here. I like to look at this number right here, live referring domains, not this one. I don't know why this one isn't bigger, but this is the number I would look at. And we can see, you know, let's say that this person called me up and I would say, oh, well, I think it looks like you've done, you know, some link building somewhere in 2015 and basically it's been flat. Or they say they've had an SEO company since, you know, November of 2017 and they've actually got less referring domains than they did before. So maybe, you know, maybe they didn't do any the link building like they were supposed to. Okay, so that's really useful. And again, I trust their ability to find links better than not just Majestic, but every other tool out there. And so a couple places that I might go. I'm going to hold Control and I'm going to click because I'm going to click on several different things. So if I'm trying to look at their links right here, individually, I'm going to trust Ahrefs more than the other ones. We want one link per domain, and if you're looking at anchor text, so if we go to anchor text, again, since it catches more links, this is a bit more accurate. Anchor text really only matters for do follow, so we're going to choose do follow right here, and we're going to take a look at this. And so this is, you know, I like how this is displayed more than Majestic. I don't really like Majestic's reporting on anchor text. And then I also like their report right here. I think Majestic's report is also really good for the top pages. This can be really useful as well. So let's check out Majestic. Let's put the same one in here. Now, one thing that Majestic has that's really good compared to Ahrefs is this trust flow. So you want the trust flow to be as high as possible relative to the citation flow. I mean, you don't want, if your trust flow is really high and your citation flow is really low, it usually means it's not like great either. It's not bad. Well, if this was 33 and this was 2, that would be bad. That would be an indicator of low quality links. So that's a pretty quick way to go about it. At the same time, if you really know what you're doing and you just go through the individual links one by one, pretty quickly you can tell if the links are high quality or not in Ahrefs. Okay, but also there's this handy dandy trust flow. And then the topic of the trust flow. Now, this is done algorithmically, so it's like any of these tools, like Ahrefs is not perfect and Majestic is not perfect, neither one is perfect. You know, you got to take this and put it with everything else. At the same time, this is a law firm, and their top trust flow, if you run it over this, is law, which is what you want. So this is a good sign that they have relevant links. And it's from a specific angle. It doesn't always, I wouldn't trust this completely in terms of, oh, well, this means that 89, you know, Google is seeing them as 89% relevant to law. That's not exactly correct. So we can see this is actually showing 670 referring domains. Well, Ahrefs is showing less. Well, it depends on how you look at it. If you look here, it's 706. But live 527. So the 706 is higher, but some of those links have probably fallen off. And so I think that the Ahrefs is going to be a bit more up-to-date and accurate than Majestic. At the same time, if you go to, let's see, if you go to like this overview, and they sort of have their own I think this is more trying to compete with domain authority, so domain rating. I think this calculation they have is is not as good as other places. So I don't really use that very much. Really, if they have a bunch of links, this number is going to be higher. I like the trust flow calculation better, but Ahrefs' ability to find the links is better. So it's not like a simple, well, this one is always better under all circumstances, which is why I use both. Let me show you a few of the different sub-reports that I do like. So I do like going to their backlinks. So I'm going to check out their backlinks, and I like looking at the URL flow. And so anything that right here that is essentially non-zero is generally good. So if I'm scrolling down and I'm watching this column, you know, I'm seeing a lot of non-zeros, and so this is generally a good thing, right? This means they have a lot of good quality links. Also, the individual links that you can see that are relevant. So let's say I was a competitor and I was wanting to come into here. I would want this link if I could get it, which I might not be able to get it, and I probably wouldn't want this link unless there's some, you know, PI services. You know, this is related to lawyer. So this is law. So even though this is related as business, labeled as business services, you know, this shows you, you know, don't want to completely trust this. It's still relevant, I think. Dallas lawyers compare top lawyers. This is a highly relevant link, and yet they're doing computers internet. See, this shows me it's this trust flow again. It's just sort of an algorithmic thing. This is highly relevant to law. Justia.com is all about lawyers, so I'm really curious as to why they do it. It's labeled as computers internet here, and then here, this is kind of odd. So the data is not completely accurate here. Also, pages. This can tell you what pages are the best pages. It does look like they switched from HTTP to HTTPS, but also it shows you, okay, well, this is one of their highest value pages. They got a lot of trust flow here. And so this is a number that I would use in my overall analysis. So Ahrefs is $99 per month, and that's probably all you're really going to need. I don't think you're going to need any more than that. I believe that's actually the plan that I have been on for many years as an SEO professional. The light, I might have a different plan because I've been on it so long. I think I'm grandfathered in. Majestic is, I think that, again, your lowest price is probably going to be good, and you can also get a pretty big discount by doing it quarterly. I pay for it quarterly. So which one is best for you? Well, I use both. If you're an SEO professional, I do recommend that you have both. I think if you can only afford one, I personally prefer Ahrefs, but it's not a major difference. Also, it has to do with my experience level. I think if you're closer to being new, then the evaluation of the links right here, the fact that they're telling you which ones are, I think their calculation of the value of the links is a little bit better. And so getting these trust flow citation flows is more meaningful. They become less meaningful for me as I have more experience looking at the links already. And so I am able to tell if the links are really good quality, really just by looking through this. I can kind of scan through this and look at the value of the links. And obviously, you can also tell, well, they're ranking, you know, really highly for a super competitive, super valuable term, and so the value of the links is probably going to be pretty high. At the same time, also, another thing to think about with this is that, let's say, sometimes this is really far off, because let's say they had some link building they did 5 years ago that was really low quality, but they've done the disavow, the detoxification process. And so Majestic and maybe even Ahrefs are going to count those links, but Google might not be counting them. So that's something that's going to be a little bit hard to know, and it's where, you know, even though as a beginner I think this is going to be a little bit more useful. I prefer Ahrefs, largely because I really like to see this. I really like to see when they come here, and I just like to have all the links possible. And on top of that, I like how they display their links a better here. Okay, while the calculation for Majestic is better. So tell me which one you like more, which one you have experience with, or if you think I've said something wrong in here, please let me know. I'm happy to know. I don't know everything about all these tools, definitely for sure. There's a lot of other features that I don't use all the time. So if there's a great tool in Ahrefs or Majestic, please let me know and let the other watchers know in the comments. I appreciate that. Also, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please like this and subscribe. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.